Good morning, everybody. There wasn't a closing video for yesterday. There really weren't any views. Now, Pogeezy and I did go a little further than we originally planned, about 4 miles further. And that means we have a little less to hike today. Today we're going to Grayson Highlands, and hopefully the weather will be good and we'll have nice views. And then we're making the jump. We're getting shuttled to Newfound Gap. This was made necessary by the problems with the mudslides at Davenport Gap. Now, I had one shuttle driver say we could get the Davenport Gap, another say no. But even if we did, there are stretches in the Smoky Mountains where the shelters are closed. Now, in the Smokies, by regulation, you must stay in shelters. So there is one stretch that is over 20 miles long where the shelters are closed. And neither Pogeezy nor I want to do a 20-plus mile day in the Smokies. So we're making the jump to Newfound Gap, and we'll continue on from there. Now, how does this impact my through hike? Technically, to qualify, you need to do a minimum of 2,000 miles. The trail is officially 2,197.4 miles. Now, I've done a number of additional miles in various ways and forms. So, while I really would love to hike the 46 miles that we're not going to be hiking, it does not take away from my through hike. Just a little bit of trail this morning. The trail is generally going up, but there are enough ups and downs so that it's not bad trail for me. It's those long, indeterminate ups, those endless climbs that just wipe me out. But this is nice trail. Hiking up to the summit of Max Patch. This is the view heading north. There's supposed to be 360-degree views when I get to the top. At the top of Max Patch, here are the 360 views. Magnificent. Good morning, everybody. I'm at the Mount Collins shelter, which you can see in the background, in the Great Smoky Mountains. Getting ready to head up to Clingmans Dome today. It is the highest point on the AT at about 6,600 feet. That should be pretty cool. Should also be pretty hard since there's a lot of elevation, but I'm really looking forward to that. Today is going to be a short day, and the reason is because of closures to shelters in the Smokies. You got to make adjustments. So today's a fairly short day, but then the next 2 days will be close to 15 miles. But one day at a time, and a new day begins. Here's a little bit of cruisy trail in the Smokies before I hit the climb to Clingmans Dome. On the way to Clingmans Dome. I'm at the top of Kawohi, also known as Clingmans Dome, the highest point on the AT at over 6,600 feet. Once again, a day of limited visibility. At least max patch was nice yesterday. A semi-view through the trees as the sun is trying to burn the haze off. Finally, a nice pretty view. Hopefully more ahead. The mist hasn't fully burned off. But beginning to get some nice views. Hello everyone. It was a short day today, but a good day. We got to see Clingmans Dome, or Kawohi as is called now, its original Indian name. The highest point on the Appalachian Trail at over 6,600 feet. The joke is everything from now is downhill. Obviously it's not. There will be lots of ups and downs to go. It was a short day. It was a hot day, but it was a good day. And that is setting up to almost 15-mile days, which I told you in the morning. That has to do with closed shelters. You have to make the adjustments you make. So I'm not sure what I'm going to see tomorrow, but that's it for today. See you then. Good morning, everybody. I just left camp. Today's going to be 14.7 miles. And unlike yesterday where, there was a specific site to see, Kawohi or Clingmans Dome, we'll just have to see what the day brings. But of course, if there's anything interesting, I will show it to you. And a new day begins. A little bit of the trail this morning. So far, it's been gently rolling, and I hope it continues to be gentle for many miles to come. Coming down from Thunderhead Mountain, once again, you might be able to see the mist going over Rocky Top. But once again, a day with no views. Slight view of Rocky Top. Very pretty after an exhausting climb. Got a little peekaboo of views. I'm up on a little bit of ledge. Not many views today. The view from the top of Rocky Top. Without a doubt, the best view I've had all day. And if it was clearer, it'd be even better. Good evening. I am at the Russell Field Shelter after a 14.7 mile day. There were some views from Rocky Top, but it was a tough day, tough 14.7. You can see the shelter behind me. Tomorrow it's Fontana Dam and officially out of the Smoky Mountains. And you might be able to hear the rumble of thunder. And I'm wearing this because there are bugs all over the place. But it was a tough day of hiking, but a good day. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. See you then. Bugs. Good morning, everyone. Just left camp a couple minutes ago. Off to Fontana Dam, which takes me out of the Great Smoky Mountains. I have not had a bear encounter yet, and the Smokies is where a lot of people have them. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's the start of a new day. I will show you any interesting sights along the way. Oh, by the way, for those of you not into hiking, the Fontana Dam shelter is known as the Fontana Hilton. It's one of the best shelters on the trail. It actually has showers, a solar charging station for your electronics. Apparently it's a really cool place. But anyway, a new day begins. I forgot to mention, just like I missed the 300-mile mark, I missed the 200-mile mark. This was a couple days ago. So I now have about 180 miles to go. Far Out describes this as walking over a minor summit. So what's the big deal about this minor summit? It's got to be the name. Welcome to the Devil's Tater Patch. I don't know who named it or how long ago, but that's a great name. The Devil's Tater Patch. The only real view I've had today from open ledges, but it is blistering hot. So I'm going back into the shade. Deposited our Smoky Mountain permits here. We're now officially leaving the Smokies. And it's a blazing hot day. We're on the trail. We're walking across Fontana Dam. That is Fontana Lake. From Lakeside to hydroelectric power station, and then the river keeps going on. This is the Fontana Dam shelter, also known as the Fontana Hilton. You can see how nice it looks. Places where you can dump your trash. More picnic areas than any other shelter has. Solar charging. Fill up your water bottles. And the lake. All this for us dirty, stinky hikers. And a little bit up the road is a restroom and a shower building. That's why it's the Fontana Hilton.
This firearms and alcoholic beverage prohibited with a beer can sitting on top.
Someone does have a sense of humor. Good evening. Got Fontana Lake in the background. Can have it over there or over there. It was a tough 14.9 day hike. Very hot. Not a lot of views, but this is a pretty impressive place. Fontana Hilton. Went to the marina, got a couple of sandwiches, some orange juice, love to have orange juice on trail, Gatorade, a beer for my dinner tonight. That was very nice. But, it was a tough day of hiking, but it was a good day of hiking. Very hot, but that's what's going to happen when you're hiking in North Carolina and Georgia in late June. Well, that's all for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Just about ready to leave the Fontana Hilton. Today is going to be a Nero. It's going to be 7.7 miles, and the reason is we're going into a hostel where the gentleman that I'm hiking with has a resupply box being sent. So it's going to be a short day. We'll also be able to wash our clothes. They've been wet for the past 4 days, not from rain, but from sweat. So it'll be nice to get them laundered. Don't know what we'll see along the way, but as always, I will show it to you if it's interesting, and a new day begins. I have never seen mushrooms. Well, there really hasn't been anything to show you today. So, here's a little bit of the trail. So I am narrowing at well, it's primarily a bed and breakfast, but they also take in hikers. And it's a narrow because we did 7.7 miles. Poke Easy had a resupply box delivered here, and we were looking for a place to take a narrow, so we figured, why not? Quite a lovely building. Good morning, everybody. Back on trail after getting dropped off a little while back. The stay at Creekside Paradise B&B was phenomenal. Jeff and Cynthia, the hosts, were just wonderful. There are 3 dogs on site, which I always like a place that has dogs. Room was comfortable. The breakfast was amazing. If you're ever in Western North Carolina, I highly recommend Creekside Paradise. It was wonderful. Well, today, 14.5 miles. Long day. As you can tell by my huffing and puffing, going uphill. If there's any interesting sights along the way, I will certainly show them to you. And a new day begins. A little bit of trail for your viewing pleasure. It's beginning to get a little warm, but even though it's obstructed, this is the best view that I've had today. Power cables and construction going on somewhere. That is an amazing view. The Sassafras Gap shelter in 5.1 miles is where I'm headed. But first, Chioa Bald. It is a long climb to Chioa Bald. It's 3.9 miles from here. The last little over 2 miles is up. Happy, happy, joy, joy. So this is basically a trail for the next 0.7 of a mile. Straight up and steep. It's after 3 o'clock. Nothing I like more towards the end of my hiking day than a long, steep uphill. But the payoff should be worth it. I don't know if you can tell, but straight ahead, it is raining over on those mountains. Now I'm going to be passing Chioa Bald soon, and I'm okay with the storm over there. I just want to make sure that I'm off the Bald. You might hear a little bit of the rumbling. The storm seems to be moving in that direction, but one can never be certain. So I'm going to get off the Bald fairly quickly. Nonetheless, this is a beautiful view. The quirks of traveling on the AT. As it turns out, I'm actually traveling northeast to go south. So the video that I showed you, which I thought was to the west of Chioa Bald, was actually the views to the east. There are no views to the west. As it turns out, Chioa Bald is not much of a bald. Anyway, I am heading to the shelter area where I'm going to stay tonight. And there still is a chance of rain. It's supposed to come in sometime after 5 o'clock. And I hope to be at the shelter before 5 o'clock. We'll see. Hello, everybody. I am at the Sassafras Gap shelter, which you can see behind me. Once again, it's very buggy, so that's why I'm wearing this. Today wasn't a bad day. There weren't a whole lot of views. I was a little bit disappointed with Chioa Bald. There weren't a lot of views. But, did start the morning off with an outstanding breakfast from Creekside Paradise Bed and Breakfast. And it was a good day mileage-wise. 14.5 miles. Tomorrow is 13.8, I think. And it's going to be a little unusual in that there will be ups and downs, but there is going to be one very long down in the morning and one very long up. I'm not sure whether that's going to be later morning or afternoon, because what we're going to be going through is what's called the NOC, the Nantahala Outdoor Center. We won't be staying there, but it's very, very popular with kayaking and hiking and all those things. But that's tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Good morning, everybody. Today's going to be an interesting day. After an initial brief climb, there's going to be 7 miles about of descent, followed by about 6 miles of climb. Now, if you like going downhill better than going uphill, as I do, 7 miles may sound like fun. But 7 miles is rough on the knees, no matter how much you like downhills. And the 6 mile climb is a lung buster for me. So it's going to be an interesting day. All the way down, all the way up. Well, as always, if there's anything interesting to show you, I will do that. And a new day begins. The light rays reflecting off the mist, shining through the trees. How neat. The Nantahala Outdoor Center. Rafting, whitewater canoeing, and of course hiking.
You're fantastic.
To the Neils and the Lions. If you want an adventure vacation with the kids when they're a little older, this is an amazing place. A canoe slalom course. I suppose you can also kayak it. Lots of other stuff here. Pretty cool place. Yep. Very nice view of the mountains across the way. One of the few views I've had today. There's supposed to be another nice view 3/10 of a mile. We'll see.